Good evening. We now know the identities of 3 people on board the fatal plane crash in western Alaska that took the lives of 8 people on Thursday.
NTSB confirmed there were 8 people in the plane, 2 pilots, 2 U.S. Army Corps of Engineer employees, and 4 contractors.
Today, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers identified employees 25-year-old Hayden Scalise and Sabrina Hansen. We don't have a photo of Hansen yet. Hansen worked as a fire protection engineer and Scalise as a mechanical engineer.
Now, 11th Air Force also identified 23-year-old Second Lieutenant Leah Borsch. We are working to learn more about the rest of the people on board. We will keep you updated.
And we're also getting our first look tonight at the scene of this plane crash.
Lauren Maxwell talked with the NTSB and has the investigation.
NTSB investigators were able to get to the site at Cape Newenham during a small weather window Sunday. They found the wreckage of the twin-engine Cessna scattered several hundred feet up the side of a mountain.
At this point right now, the best way to describe it is highly fragmented, and there was a post-crash fire, which is indicative of a high-speed event.
Investigators are still gathering information about what could have caused the crash at a remote military radar site in western Alaska. They do know the plane was attempting a second landing in heavy fog.
Nothing has been eliminated at this point right now, but the weather is something that we're going to be looking at.
The next challenge will be removing the wreckage, which is 600 to 800 feet above sea level, so that investigators can examine it in depth.
The only way at this point right now to recover this wreckage is by helicopter, back down to the runway, and then most likely a small cargo plane to be able to take loads out, ultimately bring it back to Anchorage.
He says that process could take several weeks. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
And in Togue, rains have helped firefighters work to control the Mukluk fire.
But crews say there's another hazard they're looking out for. Joe Allgood joins us now in studio with a look at the latest information on containment of this fire. Joe.
Yeah, that's right, Rebecca and Augusta. Crews received a half an inch of rain this weekend, aiding teams on the ground, but the danger isn't gone yet. The Mukluk fire is measuring over 7,000 acres at a containment of 29%. A team of 328 firefighters are on the ground right now. The Division of Forestry estimating 44 homes have been lost in the fire so far. The Alaska Division of Forestry and Fire Protection lifting Level 1 and Level 2 zones yesterday, and the north side of the Alaska Highway from Sundog Trail to 5th Street East remains in Level 3 GO evacuation. Deputy Incident Commander Adam Coley says attention is moving to protect remaining structures from burned trees.
There's about 91 structures that are still standing and remaining in that area that the firefighters right now are prioritizing and focusing on for the number one goal of removing that, we call them gravity hazards.
More days of work to clear those trees as crews hope to have Toke in recovery before winter sets in. Augusta, Rebecca.
Joe, thanks so much for your reporting on that.
And the weather has been a big factor in both this fire's growth and the containment. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now with a closer look at the weather in Toke.
Yeah, it's been kind of up and down. We've seen warm and dry conditions and then wet and windy, both at times helping, at times making it more difficult. But this is what it looks like right now in Toke. Those clouds gradually clearing today and temperatures warming 67 degrees. The wind calm right now out of the southeast at about 8 miles per hour. But the rain has completely cleared from this area. As Joe mentioned, over 7,000 acres burned, just under 30% contained. Some of those evacuation zones cleared over the weekend. So it is now just the go now area, that ready section that is still under the evacuation orders at this time. So the fire has not grown much in the past couple of days. Dry weather today, but we do have rain on the way for the fire tomorrow before those winds are likely to shift again later this week. This storm is also going to bring wet and windy conditions to South Central. That rain pushing into the valley as we speak. Heavier rain actually moves in tomorrow afternoon. So in Anchorage, mostly cloudy overnight. Temperatures only drop to the mid-50s. You'll see those rain showers increasing through the day. Wind increasing as well. We'll see those wind gusts at about 25 miles per hour for most of the city, but as high as 50 miles per hour for the Anchorage hillside and as you head closer north into the valley. And I'll have a closer look at the details on that storm next.
All right, Melissa, thanks for tracking all of that. And tonight, we're following reports of an oil spill in Cook Inlet. A pilot reported the spill to the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation this afternoon, saying he spotted the spill while flying over the inlet about 2 p.m. This is video that he sent us. The pilot told me he flies the route daily, and this spill, which he says looks to be about 5 miles long, was not there 24 hours ago. The general area where he described he took these photos and videos is about 5 miles southeast of Tyonek. State DEC coordinators told me they have multiple agencies responding tonight, including the U.S. Coast Guard, Alaska Response Corps, which is the contracted emergency response company, and the State Department of Fish and Game. DEC spokespeople also saying it's unclear at this point who owns the rig or the vessel where the spill originated from, but they are saying that Hill Corp is sending their resources to check on their assets in the area.
Well, a woman died this weekend after she was hit by an SUV in Midtown. The collision happened around 1:30 in the morning Saturday near the Seward Highway and Benson Boulevard. Police discovered the woman in the roadway, killed by a dark SUV that left that area. APD found the driver. So far, there are no charges or citations. Police say the woman's name will be released once her family has been notified.
Still ahead right after this, political reporter Will Courtney tells us what August's voter turnout means for November.
And Fairbanks prepares for the midterms, why some are concerned about a ballot initiative. Well, we're starting to get a better picture of who showed up for last Tuesday's primary election.
Our political reporter Will Courtney joining us now to break down which parts of the state turned out to vote. Will.
Yeah, Augusta, Rebecca, we're going to look at some pies today, and that is these electorate pies right here, how regions voted in the primary election and how that compares to the last midterm. What we're looking at right here is the last midterm, this from 2022. You can see the results right here at 192,000 people turning out to vote, Anchorage being the top and then going down in decreasing order clockwise, Southeast Alaska being the smallest. But you're probably not interested necessarily in 2022. Let's take a look at 2026, the most recent election. Currently, about 133,000 votes right now. Still somewhat tentative. We do expect more votes incoming. Anchorage, the top vote getter like it was in 2022, 48,000 turning out, and then again decreasing. You go to the Mat-Su Valley of 25,000, Fairbanks with 21,000. This includes the Kenai Peninsula. It includes western and northern Alaska as well as the Aleutian Islands, and then southeast Alaska. Like I said, there are still votes incoming and a significant number at that too. NBC News is estimating there's still 34,000. The Associated Press saying there's still 80% that's been counted. So how these candidates are looking at this pie chart behind me is ultimately going to be that calculation where they cut up this electorate pie and how their voters are going to rank them on the ballot. That decision will decide who runs the state. Augusta, Rebecca.
All right, Will, thanks for breaking down those numbers for us.
And for a bigger dive into the data, including a link to where we can see how those regions voted, go to our website and our mobile app.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly met last week to finalize what voters are going to see in election pamphlets about a hand-counting ballot initiative.
Now, in October, voters in Fairbanks decide whether to require all ballots to be hand-counted. The borough, specifically the clerk's office, is responsible for crafting the language that voters will see. Some are concerned statements made in the initiative are biased, especially one claim that hand count takes longer than electric, but the Assembly says that information is correct.
Presenting the absence of cost for Proposition 3 without any cost context for the status quo isn't strictly factual. It's a one-sided fiscal framing.
This is still a factual thing. The hand counting takes longer. We won't get the unofficial election results in as timely a fashion as we're used to.
The Assembly voted to keep the claim in a 6-1 vote, but will clarify that results will come in the same time frame.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.